Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today we're going to talk about Brave! Brave is a 2012 animated theatrical release about a princess named Merida who does not want to be betrothed, so she makes a wish with a witch that her mom would change, and her mom gets changed into a bear and they have to deal with that. It is directed by Mark Andrews, Brenda Chapman, and Steve Purcell. Animation supervision done by Alan Barillaro and Stephen Clay Hunter. Editing by Nicholas C. Smith. Music by Patrick Doyle, and it's written by Mark Andrews, Steve Purcell, Brenda Chapman, and Irene Mecchi. The film stars Kelly Macdonald as Merida, Billy Connolly as Fergus, Emma Thompson as Eleanor, and Julie Walters as the witch. This was the first film to be animated with Presto. The original title was The Bear in the Boat before it became Brave. Brenda Chapman was the first female director at Pixar, writing the first female protagonist-driven Pixar film. She ended up being replaced by Mark Andrews, though, because of conflicts creatively with John Lasseter. And she was devastated, but when she saw the movie, she felt her original vision did come through and was proud of it and proud of herself for standing up for herself, so we stand. Mark Andrews came in and loved the bones of the project, but did rehaul the story. He focused more on Merida and Eleanor, and took out a lot of the magic aspects, which I thought was interesting. Reese Witherspoon was originally set to play Merida and was working diligently on a Scottish accent, and then she ended up having too many commitments and conflicts and had to back out, and that's when they landed on Kelly Macdonald as Merida, thank goodness. I love Reese Witherspoon, but I don't know how that would have gone. Also, she was not young enough, I feel like, but whatever, I digress. This obviously set up for many future Pixar female protagonist films: Inside Out 2, Elemental, Incredibles 2, Turning Red, Finding Dory, etc. Disney created 3 Tardans to represent the clans, and they even registered Clan Dunbrow's Tardan with the Scottish Register of Tardans, which is kind of cool. The film had a $185 million budget, made $539 million in the box office. That's pretty decent. It has a 79% Rotten Tomatoes consensus. Brave offers young audiences and fairy tale fans a rousing, funny fantasy adventure with a distaff twist and surprising depth. It had 3 out of 4 stars from Ebert. It won Best Animated Feature. It had a couple video games, and Merida appears in quite a few others, and then she also appears in Once Upon a Time, Sophia the First, and Ralph Breaks the Internet. This is so beautiful. I did not remember this movie looking this good from the opening. I was like, oh wow, okay. This movie is gorgeous. I did see this in theaters, I believe, and I've seen it in pieces since. I have not sat down to watch this front to back since theaters, probably. Not saying I don't like it, it just didn't happen for me, but I did not remember it being this beautiful. It is gorgeous. The music is fabulous, it's literally perfect. I love all the bagpipes. I feel like they couldn't have picked someone better than Patrick Doyle to do this. Patrick Doyle did Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, among a million other things, but I feel like he just has such Scottish and Irish influence that it's so easy for him to do a score like this, and it was very good. This is super solid. I remember back in 2012 not loving it. I liked it, and I was affected. I remember being affected, but not, like, in love with it. I remember really hating the triplets. No idea why. I watch it now, and I thought they were so funny and so cute. I don't know why I hated the triplets when I was younger. Or maybe I was like, they don't help her, they're just menaces. But when I was an adult, I was like, they do help her, and they're funny. So, and they're children, so like, whatever. So I don't know if the 12-year difference helped me in that regard. This is really solid. I think the mother-daughter aspect of it is really well done. They do a great job of making you really not vibe with Eleanor in the beginning. She does 100% come off as just not listening to Merida and being kind of a turd blossom. So it was really great to kind of watch this with different eyes than 2012 and see, I feel like a lot of the time you expect when you get older you might side with the parent a bit more. I really didn't. I understood where Eleanor was coming from, but she wasn't explaining that to Merida. She was just kind of being a turd, and that was not the vibe. And I loved when Eleanor was turned into a bear, she was forced to listen, and also forced to see Merida's strengths. They're in the outdoors. Merida's teaching her how to fish. She's, you know, teaching her what to do. She's showing her the safest way to go about things. She's showing Eleanor how strong she is when they go and explore and find, you know, Mordu's lair and, you know, all that stuff. Eleanor witnesses just how, one, Merida isn't defiant to be defiant and is who she is. She's a mix of her parents. She's not the perfect, you know, little girl obedient princess, but she is strong and smart, and I love that. I think that's so good. And then Merida realizing, like, she might have wanted her mom to change her mind, but she doesn't want to lose her mom. I think that's really important and a really good story, and I love how that kind of brings them together. I wish there had been maybe a couple more moments of understanding between them before Eleanor totally, like, changes her mind about the betrothal and everything. I almost wish they could have mended that bond. And then when Eleanor was a person, she could have made that announcement. Like, I wish it felt very like all of a sudden Eleanor is telling Merida that she doesn't have to be betrothed. And I get that that's what's going to help mend the bond or whatever, but I feel like they could have mended the bond without her mom caving on that. And then, like, I don't know. I feel like that could have been a bit stronger for me story-wise. Not that it isn't strong. It just feels like Eleanor's switch happens a little too soon. There weren't highlighted moments for me for Eleanor to realize she was in the wrong. I get that her watching Merida, like, talk to them and get them under control might have been a huge shift, but if there had been previous ones, I feel like that would have been more effective. Anyway, I digress. It's really sweet, a good story. I'm being nitpicky. My favorite part is definitely when Eleanor tells her, basically through charades, that she doesn't have to get betrothed and they can start setting a new tradition. That's beautiful. That's the point of, you know, I love that moment, even though I just nitpicked it. I do love that moment. It is my favorite because that's, you know, what you want. You want them to be understanding each other and being sweet, and it's adorable. My least favorite part is probably anytime Eleanor switched into, like, actual bear mode. It was super sad, and I hated that. Otherwise, like, technically speaking, I don't really have a least favorite part. Just the nitpicky stuff about the story, probably. But otherwise, very good. Recommend it, of course. Watch again, 100%. No-brainer. Specific moments, I think the witch is fun. I was interested to hear they got rid of magic stuff. I feel like having the witch in it more could have been interesting. I would just be curious to see what they would attempt to try and do with this story today. I feel like it'd be a little bit different, maybe a little more fleshed out than it is. Not that it's bad. It is a simple and straightforward and effective story. I cried. I liked it. Circling back, I just want to reiterate, I did love the triplets this time around. I thought they were genuinely really funny. I love the moment between Merida and them as bears where she goes, "Get the key." And they're like, "Yeah." And they go, like, torment that poor lady. That was genuinely so funny. I thought that was really good. Just like when they all have an understanding all of a sudden where she's like, "Get the key." And they're like, "Roger Dodger, we got it." I love that. That was so good. And then, like, before where she, like, bartered and was like, "You can have my desserts for 3 weeks, a month, whatever." That was really good too. I also thought it was funny that they ate the pastry because of course they would. They were stealing sweets all the movie. Also a great setup from the triplets is when they tie Fergus's peg leg to the table. There was a decent amount of time between when you see them, like, get the idea to do that and when that pays off, to the point that, like, you forget they did that, and then he gets up and it wrecks the table and you remember they did that, and it makes that joke pay off a lot more. I think that was a really great moment too. And then I love, there's an after credit scene for this where all of the wood carvings from the witch get delivered, which I think is really funny. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I have for Brave, if you can believe it. I feel like it's a little bit short, but it's Brave. It's good. I don't have a lot to say. It's just a good story. That's everything I have for Brave, and 800. My final rating is 9. Maybe we'll do pastries. Here, let me hold it up and see if I can get it to be in the right spot. Let's see, it's normally like number. So Maybe like right here, and maybe if I can make it small enough. 9 pastries. We'll see if that worked. Out of 10. Or 9 bears out of 10 also feels appropriate. Our total movie count is... Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I cannot believe we're at 800. That is wild. Our cry count is... Parent Death Toll is still the same. If you want to keep up with Movie I'm Watching When, follow me on all socials. You'll find out Movie I'm Watching When. I put up videos every Monday and Friday, and sometimes Wednesday, but it's been every day for the week of guests, and tomorrow we got the anniversary video, and then we're done with Celebration Month this year. So just go do all that. Join Patreon this month. We've had daily trivia every day for every tier. Go check it out, and you get benefits from the tier above you, so just go join, go have fun. Buy merch. Merch is definitely on sale. Go snag some while you can. It's the best. Until next time. Comment, like, and subscribe. But I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so you do. And don't be more do about it. 800. I cannot believe that. Wild, 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 wild.